अपने आप को चेंज करना सिर्फ और सिर्फ खुद की सोच के बेसिस पर, किसी और की नहीं। चाहे वो मैं हूँ या कोई और आपको आके समझाए, लेकिन आपको कभी भी नहीं मानना है, क्योंकि आप खुद पहले समझो कि आपको या आपकी किसी भी हैबिट को चेंज करना क्यों ज़रूरी है। अगर आपको लगता है कि आपकी किसी बात से आपकी लाइफ में नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है, देन थिंक अबाउट इट only and only if you feel that way, not from anybody's influences. Because आप नहीं जानते कि लोगों के बिलीफ पैटर्न्स और सोच वो रेगुलरली एंड कॉन्स्टेंटली चेंज होती रहेगी, मे बी बेस्ड ऑन देयर ओन एक्सपीरियंसेस. सो कीप दैट इन माइंड. बी थॉटफुल ऑफ हु यू आर विथ एंड whom यू लिसन टू. आप ओवर थिंकिंग करते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ये प्रॉब्लम तब बन जाती है जब ओवर थिंकिंग आपके माइंड में चल रही है, लेकिन वो बातें किसी और के दिमाग से आ रही है. इसीलिए आप कभी भी अपनी सोच के बेस पर कोई एक्शन नहीं ले पाते, और अगर ले भी पाते हो तो अपने डिसीजन पर कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं हो पाते. डोंट यू डेयर टू सीक वैलिडेशन फ्रॉम वेरियस सोर्सेज ऑन वॉट यू आर ट्राइंग टू डू इज करेक्ट और नॉट. सबसे पूछने मत जाना कि आप बताओ जो मैं कर रहा हूँ वो सही है या नहीं, बिकॉज अगर पूछने में एक भी व्यक्ति ने कुछ डिफरेंट ओपिनियन दे दिया तो आप एक्शन नहीं ले पाओगे, और फिर आपके न्यू सेट ऑफ बिलीव्स ये बन जाएंगे कि लाइफ में मैंने कितना भी सोच लिया, कितनी भी प्लानिंग कर ली, मैं कितना भी अच्छा सोच लूँ वगैरह वगैरह, लेकिन मैं कभी कुछ कर नहीं पाऊँगा या कर नहीं पाऊँगी. बिकॉज टू मच इन्फॉर्मेशन, टू मेनी टाइम्स ऑफ checking your social media and listening to various different influencers about their beliefs, all of this affects your ability to think and act. This incident is roughly about a few months back when I had a major setback in my life. Let's not focus on what that incident actually was, but some way that took me a bit off track from my journey. So this is going to be an attempt to share with you some of the things that I experienced during those dark times and how I personally deal with any sort of intrusion which sort of gets on my way. For I do care about everyone who is watching this video. I just simply want to share with you a very, very amazing thing that I've just learned. I know most of you would be able to handle most of those life problems externally, but the real struggle begins just the moment you think you have got rid of that something which was troubling you. The very next moment you will sort of have to struggle with your own thoughts. I guess all of you can totally relate to this. Yes, I'm telling you, you can get rid of a person, place, or almost anything in this world, but you simply can't get rid of your own thoughts. Anyways, let's get back to the story. So, regardless of all those disturbances, I continued to work each passing day, but I was growing more and more dissatisfied due to my own thoughts. To put it bluntly, I didn't like my life at all, and there seemed no way that things were going to work out. I mean, I would just like to ask you, have you ever had a time in life where you can't even get out of bed to have some water, and on top of it, when you have to work, it mostly feels like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders all the time? Well, that's how I felt. I was literally in pain, both physically and emotionally. I used to look much older than my age, and my stomach was constantly upset. Fearing that I had some serious health problem, I thought of visiting some doctor friends, but they couldn't find anything physically wrong with me. Spiritually, I was dead. Nothing in my life had much meaning. But I guess in those late months of 2020, around December, I was burned out in one particular evening while sitting alone in my car. I just knew something had to change. Not knowing what to do, I simply said out loud, there's got to be more to my life than this. There's got to be more than this misery and unhappiness. I can't tell you that everything in my life changed overnight because it didn't happen that way. But from that moment, I began to change myself from a person with utterly negative perception to a person with complete positive perception about things. Because it's all about that one particular moment. Something strikes within you, and you start to feel this. You start to feel like this is exactly what I needed, right? And from that moment, I felt better. I had more energy, all because of a little change in my perception and simply my own thoughts. Some of you might remember a few days back, I took a poll on my Instagram channel. The question was, how many of you guys overthink? And I was literally shocked by the responses. I mean, 80 to 82% of them were yes. And only the remaining 20% said that they don't. I mean, they don't overthink. Well, to my surprise, I think even वो 20% में से भी कुछ लोग कहीं ना कहीं कंफ्यूज्ड होंगे कि yes चूज़ करें या no चूज़ करें, बिकॉज रियलिटी को हर कोई एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाता, राइट? वेल, आई जस्ट विश आई एम रॉन्ग एट दिस. Good for those who don't and better for those who do. Either ways it's fine. But मुझे बहुत relief मिला कि I'm not the only one who overthinks. There are so many people like me who do. Then I just thought, why not face it? And let's find a solution for myself and for everybody who's suffering. The very simple solution to this problem is, I think, within yourself. The best thing that I did during such a dark phase of my life was that I developed so much interest in studying psychology, basically for my own hunt of finding a substantial solution to my own problems. So as far as I have understood, this problem of overthinking reflects to a psychological glitch in our minds, which is termed as cognitive dissonance. We'll talk about that as well. And here's a very fun thing that I simply realized, that overthinking is not that big of a problem. In fact, in some cases, it turns out to be an amazing solution to some of my problems. So before getting on to anything, here's a simple question to all of you. Have you ever thought what is holding you back from living your life the way you truly want to live? Alright, forget that. I'll tell you out of my own experiences that one very common and terrible thing is we don't even know how to deal with our mind from overthinking. Most commonly, we tend to overthink every little problem until it becomes bigger than it actually is. We overthink positive things until they don't look so positive anymore. And in some cases, anxiety and everything starts to build up. Maybe some of the times if you have observed this or not, but we overanalyze and deconstruct things, and so the happiness or the actual feeling of that moment disappears. Well, here comes the fun part. Now I'm going to add a bit of contradiction to this. Listen carefully. What I personally feel is that thinking and analyzing everything could be a great thing, of course. But the most important thing to note is we tend to get ourselves in a sort of an overthinking disorder, and as a result, we become someone who stands still in life. We become someone who sort of self-sabotages the great things that might happen in life. Even I used to overthink a lot, and it sort of held me back in ways that were not fun at all. But in the past 7 or 8 months, I have learned how to deal with this problem, that it does not disturb me anymore. And if it does, then I simply know what to do to make the best out of it. So everything changed as I began to strongly implement this very popular quote in my life. It goes like, I have never been afraid of trouble. I have always had this slogan, if somebody hands you a lemon, make lemonade out of it. तो इस बात से हमें ये समझ आता है कि ओवरथिंक करने की वजह से अगर आप लाइफ में सिर्फ सोचते ही रहते हैं और कुछ एक्शन नहीं ले पाते, तब only in that case overthinking is a problem. Otherwise it's not a problem. In fact, मेरा एक्सपीरियंस तो कुछ ऐसा है कि overthinking has brought some amazing solutions to so many of problems in my life. तो मेरे लिए overthinking एक प्रॉब्लम नहीं बल्कि सोल्यूशन की तरह काम करता है. ऑलराइट, सो इंडिविजुअली मेरे केस में व्हेन इट कम्स टू माय थॉट्स, इन सम केसेस आई माइट थिंक टू लिटिल और इन सम केसेस टू मच. एंड वेट, सो कॉल्ड conventional wisdom of society says that both the attitudes can cause trouble to you. In our so-called modern society, overthinking is considered as an undesirable habit and not recommended for people who want to be happy. Naturally enough, I still find a lot of influencers and motivational speakers just vomiting their advices on how to stop overthinking and all of that bullshit. But honestly, I just want to demystify everything and share with you my own experience. I personally feel I just can't control my thoughts. And yes, I do get into overthinking more often than not. But the best thing I've realized by a simple change in my perception, that there are so many positive benefits I have achieved from overthinking. And maybe if you are also in the habit of overthinking and it has become your second nature like myself, don't worry. It can sometimes help you in endless number of ways. Let it be your work, your studies, your relationships, your experiments and everything. So I have sort of curated a list of ways to tell you how I personally benefit from my overthinking habit. Number one could be, well, this is going to be for those who will probably criticize this video for my crazy opinion on overthinking. Well, to avoid that criticism, I would say yes, overthinking might be a problem, but only if it's observed on the negative side with negative or destructive thoughts. Because most commonly people associate overthinking with negativity. But in my case, positive overthinking has always helped my brain organize better for solutions and to gain a clear perspective for future incidents or maybe happenings. This further helps me being sort of a far-sighted observer, which simply prepares me to fight any of those forthcoming disasters and setbacks in advance. Well, now I tend to use it to visualize sort of different scenarios of the future in the light of my past experiences. So yes, I feel I have finally discovered this amazing benefit of overthinking. What should we call it? Constructive overthinking. Alright. Number two could be, overthinking sort of keeps me away from being influenced by others. For example, if you think less and you sort of depend on the opinion of others, you might not be better off in comparison with someone like myself, who just thinks every possible outcome on a particular plan. Well, if you simply rely on others, you might get discouraged or something, because you never know, the one that you are relying on might be giving you that piece of advice without proper knowledge. So yes, in that way, being an overthinker, I simply don't like relying on anybody for my choices. Well, that's how I feel more confident about my decisions in life. Simple. Yeah. Number three could be, overthinking also helps me get rid of self-doubt. You know, most often ideas don't get converted to reality because you are left with self-doubt. In that case, I feel overthinking sort of helps me to clear such doubts with various facts, data, or information about that particular thing which bothers me from getting my ideas implemented to work. Number four could be, my overthinking helps me a lot in problem solving. So most of my activity and even daily routine involves problem solving. As I think more, I'm more likely to gather more data, opinions and facts. When faced with more than one options to invest a large sum of time, money and resources, anything, I think I've got better than before. As I gather more facts, I analyze more, and then I decide what to do further. Simple. Number five could be, it keeps my brain active. As I think more, my cognitive part of the brain is more occupied most of the time. Most commonly, an idle or inactive mind doesn't produce good thoughts, and on the other side, a busy or active mind is more likely to come up with some amazing solutions. Well, again, in general, if you are not able to digest my ideology on this, so just to tell you that overthinking is a part of our cognitive process, and one bad experience may lead you to think about various negative experiences you had in the past. However, my experience and research makes me believe that overthinking doesn't need to be sort of counterproductive. It can definitely have positive outcomes. That depends on the situation and, most importantly, your own attitude. Your own attitude, alright? I mean, everything turns out to be the way you deal with things in life. It's that simple to understand. Yeah. Lastly, just to summarize this chapter with my views and a bit of personal belief, overthinking is not as bad as it's considered. Probably someone who thinks a lot regarding the long-term or short-term impact of any particular decision will considerably be more prepared for any situation, be it good or bad. I just hope this makes sense. Individually, I just did one simple thing that I changed my perception about a few things. I mean, the way I look at a problem, that problem along the way becomes an amazing solution for so many of my life problems. Well, only if you look at it that way. By now, I guess you have got the basic understanding on what to do with your thinking and also your perception about things. But the tricky part is how to do it. How to implement all of this effectively and realistically. So it's all about that case in particular, when you are so overwhelmed with your own thoughts that you can't perform or act the way you want in real life. Long story short, that habit of overthinking which holds you back from being live in the moment or being truly yourself. Alright, to start off with, let's try to understand what is that particular thing which actually gets you trapped into your overthinking habit. Well, that particular thing in technical terms is called as cognitive dissonance. This condition happens when a person holds certain beliefs, ideas, or values that contradict with their action taking ability. Basically, it's all about आपकी विचारधारा या फिर मान्यता and everything in context to your actions. In short, आप क्या सोचते हैं और आप क्या एक्शन लेते हैं, इन दोनों के बीच अगर थोड़ा सा भी कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन है या फिर आपकी सोच और आपके एक्शंस मैच नहीं करते, then this further turns out to be a psychological stress on your brain, and all of this gets you trapped into that sort of a stressful condition which is called as cognitive dissonance. Still not clear. Alright. So इस condition को समझने के लिए let's take for example, suppose I introduce you to a person, him or her, and you travel, talk, eat and do everything together for a month or so. After that, I call you to simply ask, did you like that person? And you are like, yes, kind of. Overall, I liked that person, but I just don't like her political views. At the back of your minds, आपका belief system about a relationship is कि आपको कोई ऐसा partner चाहिए जिसके political views आपसे match करें. It's just an example, political views or whatever. In this case, मैंने जिस person से आपको मिलवाया, you sort of liked everything about that person except their political views. Well, now, if I simply ask you, would you still want to be in that relationship or not? How would you respond? Now, you could possibly respond in two ways. First way of response could be, no, I can't change my political views for a relationship. I'll wait for some other person who sort of matches up to my criteria. Second way of response could be, I'll think about it. I'm willing to change my political views for a relationship. Now, what if you get stuck between the two? You would simply have to find a way to decide whether you want to be in that relationship or not. Well, to get rid of this stress, you will have again two choices. First choice is You could simply stick to your own ideology and belief and wait for some other person to come with the same set of beliefs and values, and so you could easily match up and live life peacefully together as partners. Second choice that you could make is compromise your set of beliefs from not focusing too much on your own political views because you liked that person and you want to be in that relationship. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. And here you will face this condition called cognitive dissonance. To simply resolve this condition, you need a set of ideas to be implied, most importantly, on your ability to think and act. This is what I call effective implementation. First things first, from my set of ideas, I think there's only these two things to take care of. One is your own set of beliefs and values, and second is how you implement and bring them into reality. For example, आपका बिलीफ सिस्टम ये कहता है कि हमें अपनी सेहत का ख्याल रखना चाहिए, और आप कहीं ना कहीं समझते भी हो कि ये ज़रूरी है, लेकिन आपने कहीं किसी नॉन एक्सपीरियंस्ड इंडिविजुअल से ये भी सुन लिया था कि एक्सरसाइज करने से आपके जॉइंट्स वीक हो जाते हैं वगैरह वगैरह, और इस कन्फ्यूजन की वजह से आप एक्सरसाइज, वर्कआउट या डाइट नहीं कर पाते। तो मुझे बताइए कि आप एक हेल्दी बॉडी अचीव कैसे कर पाएंगे। यही सेम चीज़ आपकी लाइफ के हर एक एस्पेक्ट पे अप्लाई होती है। आप मानते हो कि रिलेशनशिप में कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ होना ज़रूरी है, लेकिन आपसे किसी बात में कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ करने को कहा जाए तो वो आपसे नहीं हो पाता, क्योंकि आपने कहीं ये भी देख लिया था कि किसी रिलेशनशिप में आपके किसी फ्रेंड ने कुछ बातों में कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ किया एंड इन टर्न उनके पार्टनर ने उन्हें डोमिनेट करना शुरू कर दिया। नाउ बिटवीन ऑल ऑफ दिस कन्फ्यूजन you would have to achieve that balance in relationship. How would you do that? So in reality, there is no assigned value to these tiny little habits that you have, but somewhere everything that you do, it affects your own set of ideas and beliefs. And whenever your own actions are sort of contradictory with your own set of beliefs, then this turns out to hamper your ability to think. And you start doubting yourself, all because of this confusion. Because the moment you start doubting yourself, it damages your ability to make decisions in life, and further, you end up in this whole trap of inability to think and act. Forget everything. One and only one method to resolve all of this is by looking at your self-doubt. All right now, self-doubt. Because you doubt your abilities now, so you will be left with only one option of relying on others for some inspiration, because आपने खुद के beliefs and values को मार कर इतना ज़्यादा सोच लिया है कि अब आपके सोचने की क्षमता भी जा चुकी है, और कहीं ना कहीं कॉन्फिडेंस भी। अब आपके आसपास के लोग जो भी कहेंगे आप कन्विंस होकर मान लोगे और उसके बेस पर एक्शंस भी ले लोगे, बट समवेयर यू आर स्टिल नॉट श्योर कि आपने डिसीजन लेकर सही किया या नहीं। यू वुड स्टिल नॉट बी श्योर कि आपने किसी और के इन्फ्लुएंस पर जो एक्शन लिया है वो सही है या नहीं। फिर कहीं ना कहीं एक्शन या डिसीजन लेने के बाद हम खुद को मना लेते हैं ये कहकर कि ठीक है, अब जो होगा देखा जाएगा। प्लीज स्टॉप डूइंग दिस। फ्रॉम नाउ ऑनवर्ड्स आपको अपना सारा टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना है टू प्रिपेयर योर ओन सेट ऑफ वैल्यूज एंड बिलीव्स। प्रिपेयर अ कंप्लीट चार्ट ऑफ व्हाट इज इट दैट यू वांट इन लाइफ एंड व्हाट इज इट दैट यू स्टिल हैव। आफ्टर दैट, व्हाट इज इट दैट यू सीरियसली नीड टू चेंज इन योरसेल्फ। अपने आप को चेंज करना सिर्फ और सिर्फ खुद की सोच के बेसिस पर, किसी और की नहीं। चाहे वो मैं हूँ या कोई और आपको आके समझाए, लेकिन आपको कभी भी नहीं मानना है, क्योंकि आप खुद पहले समझो कि आपको या आपकी किसी भी हैबिट को चेंज करना क्यों ज़रूरी है। अगर आपको लगता है कि आपकी किसी बात से आपकी लाइफ में नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है, देन थिंक अबाउट इट only and only if you feel that way. not from anybody's influences. Because आप नहीं जानते कि लोगों के बिलीफ पैटर्न्स और सोच वो रेगुलरली एंड कॉन्स्टेंटली चेंज होती रहेगी, मे बी बेस्ड ऑन देयर ओन एक्सपीरियंसेस. सो कीप दैट इन माइंड. बी thoughtful of who you are with and whom you listen to. आप ओवर थिंकिंग करते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ये प्रॉब्लम तब बन जाती है जब ओवर थिंकिंग आपके माइंड में चल रही है लेकिन वो बातें किसी और के दिमाग से आ रही है. इसीलिए आप कभी भी अपनी सोच के बेस पर कोई एक्शन नहीं ले पाते, और अगर ले भी पाते हो तो अपने डिसीजन पर कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं हो पाते. वेल, दिस इज डिसोनेंस. Well, now you know how to handle it. But mind you, after doing all of it, don't you dare to seek validation from various sources on what you are trying to do is correct or not. सबसे पूछने मत जाना कि आप बताओ जो मैं कर रहा हूँ वो सही है या नहीं. बिकॉज अगर पूछने में एक भी व्यक्ति ने कुछ डिफरेंट ओपिनियन दे दिया तो आप एक्शन नहीं ले पाओगे, और फिर आपके न्यू सेट ऑफ बिलीव्स ये बन जाएंगे कि लाइफ में मैंने कितना भी सोच लिया, कितनी भी प्लानिंग कर ली, मैं कितना भी अच्छा सोच लूँ वगैरह वगैरह, लेकिन मैं कभी कुछ कर नहीं पाऊँगा या कर नहीं पाऊँगी. बिकॉज टू मच इन्फॉर्मेशन, टू मेनी टाइम्स ऑफ checking your social media and listening to various different influencers about their beliefs, all of this affects your ability to think and act. It's not just the people and groups close to you in real life, but also what you read, listen, and watch. It could be videos, books, movies, podcasts, music, etc. Everything plays a big part in shaping your thoughts. So think about if there are any sources in your life close by or further away which are negatively affecting your ability to think and act. Simply just try to find some ways to spend more of your time and attention with only the things that have a positive effect on your action taking ability. Here's one and only one recommendation that I do most of the times. If you are not able to make decisions, just do everything in small steps. Think in small steps and act in small steps. Well, small steps will definitely help you prepare for the next big step, right? Now to conclude, just keep everything related to yourself and just keep it simple. Don't complicate your thoughts based on what others think about you. And after implementing all of this, you need to know that everything takes time to get into action. So stop trying to control everything. Well, trying to do so simply doesn't work because no one can see all possible scenarios in advance. This is of course easier said than done, but those things are a part of living a life and where you truly stretch your comfort zone. Everyone who inspires you has failed a million times. They have made mistakes, but in most cases, they've also seen these failures as valuable feedback to learn from. Understand that you will make mistakes sometimes, but don't discourage yourself that you can't do anything in life. In the end, just remember this key. Try. Fail. Try again. Learn and improve. That's it. That's life. Keep it simple. Alright? I'll see you in the next one. Until then, remember, keep shining.